So you've all been watching the news just like me, and you know what's coming. COVID-19. Fabulous. Because guess what? I am in the high-risk group. I don't think I can get any higher, to be honest. So what do I think of this? And what am I going to do? That's what I'm going to share with you today. So stay tuned. I have been thinking a lot about making this video, actually for a couple weeks. And I don't want to scare anyone. This is not a video to dramatize it. This is a video that I want to make to share my experiences and what I know of how to protect myself with everyone else. Like I said, I'm in a high-risk group. I had a lung transplant 9 years ago. So if I get it, it's over, right? So the one thing that I did learn from my lung transplant, and that is how to protect myself, because that is what they teach you in the hospital. In fact, they scare the death out of you so much that you're afraid to even leave the hospital and take one breath outside, because that might kill you, right? That's how scared I was. For me, I was terrified. Fortunately, there were some things that I knew ahead of time, because I like to get my information, that I started implementing in my life before my transplant. So when I came out of the hospital, I was already in the habit of doing some of these things. And I think this is a good place to start for everyone, for the COVID-19 or for the flu, to be honest, to just not get sick. So my idea is always think ahead. What am I going to need? And make it a habit. Make some of these things I'm going to tell you a habit now. So if COVID-19 or the coronavirus does become an issue and it becomes a pandemic or whatever they're calling for, you are prepared. The last thing we need is hysteria and people just freaking out because they don't know what to do. But, okay. So when I got out of the hospital, obviously they had me terrified. You know, don't breathe this, don't do this, don't, you know what I mean? Like, the list of things that I couldn't do were very long, and the things that, you know, I felt comfortable doing were pretty short, right? So I constantly had to figure things out. How can I still live my life? Because of course, on one hand, they're saying, don't do this. And then on the other hand, they're saying, we just did not give you this life to live in a bubble. So go live your life. So it was a constant and a struggle with me. Constant, I still feel it, but I am more prepared, and I am constantly looking at my surroundings, evaluating, and then acting upon that. So I've already incorporated a lot of things that everybody should be doing. So I have the top 5 things that you definitely want to avoid for good respiratory hygiene. And this information actually came from the hospital, was told to me after my transplant, okay? Number one is no hugging. No hugging, no shaking hands. That's a bad thing. If someone else is sick, you're gonna get it. Especially shaking someone's hands. You don't even know where that hand has been. So no, don't shake that. It was like more like fist bump or just don't do anything. Just hi. I mean, if people would try to give me a hug or a handshake or whatever, even to this day, sometimes I'm like, look, I can't. I'm a transplant patient. I can't do that. Number 2, obviously, stay away from sick people. Big thing. That was a big thing in our house. If I thought someone was sick, I don't even care what they had. I wasn't going over to visit them, and they were not coming over here to visit me. It was a rule. If there was dinner for Christmas or a dinner, you couldn't come if you were sick, or I'm not coming. One of those things. It was nothing against anybody else. It was just something that we decided as a family was happening to keep me safe, and that's what worked. So the other thing we did as a family too, we all made sure our hands were washed before we even touched any of the food on our plate. If we were having dinners, no one would have germs at the dinner table because that's gross too. So we actually implemented a bunch of things, family rules for that. And I bet you other transplant patients have the same. I know I talked to one of my friends a couple months ago, and we were discussing the whole flying thing, and it became a very interesting conversation. But yes. Also at the time, my niece was in school. She was in I don't think she was in middle school, but germs come everywhere in school, so that was a big thing. There were times that I just didn't see my family during the flu season because it just wasn't a good idea. Number 3, obviously, everybody's telling you this. Wash your hands. Wash them. And I don't mean quickly rinse them under the sink. You need to wash them, hot water, lather your hands up, and sing happy birthday to yourself. You don't have to do it out loud to embarrass yourself around other people. You can do it in your head, okay? But you need 30 seconds of cleaning your hands before they're considered clean. But then don't go out the door and touch the door, okay? Think ahead. Think ahead. A lot of places now have where you can wash your hands and then leave through by pushing the door open. And I still do not touch anywhere where people were going to put their hands on that door. Guess what? I'm going out butt first. That's what happens. Okay, number 4. Obviously, avoid crowds. Where is everybody sick? At the store, the movie theater. Just avoid that if you can. I like to personally shop at night. So if you call me at 10 o'clock at night, guess where I'm at? I am probably at the store shopping. Yes. I like to shop at night. There's no crowds, less sick people. I'm in there with the people restocking the shelves. I'm okay with that. That's my thing. So maybe you want to do early in the morning or at night or whatever. So you might have to adjust your time. Now that I'm thinking about this, if everyone gets on board with this night shift shopping thing, I might be in trouble and have to go during the day. Just a thought. Number 5, and that was do not eat at buffets. That is a big heck no. That is, you don't know how long that food has been sitting in there. You don't know who touched those tongs. If they don't have that glass shield, you don't even know who was breathing on that food. Don't do it. Avoid it. So those are the 5 things that the hospital warned me about. I came up with my own, so I'm going to share a different list let's call it Heather's list, of the things to watch out for, in addition to these other the respiratory hygiene that everybody's talking about. Okay? So these are some of the things that I added to my list. I like hidden things that the hospital did not really address with me, talk to me about, but are things that we all should be looking at because they are huge, disgusting germ stuff. There's plenty of disgusting things on them, okay? So think about it. Chairs. If you go anywhere and sit anywhere at a restaurant, a doctor's office, a dentist's office, I don't know where you're sitting, the bank, you can be sitting anywhere. Who cleans those chairs? Probably nobody, especially the armrests. And if they're wood or I don't know, just don't touch them. Don't touch them. If you can, I just sit there and I look like I'm a stuffy old broad, but that's fine. I don't need to touch your chair, the arms of the chairs. So don't touch chairs. Next thing is money. Money is disgusting. Don't even want to go to the ATM machine because who cleans that, right? Who cleans that? Sometimes I do. I'm not gonna lie, I've cleaned an ATM machine before, the buttons before I pushed them. But money in general, no. And let's be honest, we don't even know how long this virus lives on the surface. And no one cleans their money. No one cleans these things that I'm bringing up, okay? So think about it. Let's avoid them as much as you possibly can. Restaurants. Depends on your restaurant, but there are some things that they don't clean that well. The menus, they're not cleaned. If they are, they're wiped down. And guess what? They're probably wiped down after they've took that rag and wiped down other countertops. So who knows? It could be spreading stuff. So I don't touch the seat, or I don't touch the menu, and I don't touch the seat. And I actually read a study, I don't know if it was a study, it was actually an article of the most disgusting things in actually any place that no one ever cleans. And I thought it would be menus, but it was actually the seat. When you check out with your dirty money, your credit cards, we don't know where they were been, so wipe down your credit cards every once in a while with, your little bacterial wipe. If you're going to fly, wear a mask. Yes, because that's recycled air. And if someone sneezes, it's recycled through the whole cabin. That's a bad place. And I don't know if they ever clean the seats. What I do, I get on, and I'll tell you what, I am wiping everything down. The seat in front of me, the tray, the seatbelt, the armrests, I wipe it all down. I'm living 9 years post-transplant. I guess it says something, right? When you go to the grocery store, this is something that I definitely got in the habit of before my transplant, and I had my boyfriend at the time do the same thing, and it worked out really well because I did not want to get out of the hospital and then have to teach everybody these protocols. So guess what? In our store, we have those little wipes you can wipe down the carts, right? So I would grab like a whole bunch of those and wipe down the handle of the cart. And I would keep extras with me because if I needed to go to the frozen food section and open anything that had a door, I used my wipe, right? So I didn't have to touch the door. I did that a lot, and I was so proud the day when he just got the cart and just started wiping things down, and I knew everything was going to be okay because everything just was falling into place before my transplant, and that's how things become a habit. So it's kind of why I'm making this video. I want everybody to start doing this now. It just keeps you protected. When I'm in the grocery store, the other thing that I tend to avoid, especially if it's flu season, I don't get too over crazy if it's not flu season, but with COVID-19, this might be coming back into my practice. And that is fresh fruit. Because you don't know who just sneezed on that, coughed on that, or who just picked them all up to feel how squishy they were and to see which one they wanted. They could have who knows what on their fingers, right? So that was an apple. Guess what? You eat the skin, take the skin off. Just wash that sucker. I'm avoiding it. I'm just not going to deal with it. All right, guess what? That's the end of the video. I know, we're done talking about COVID-19, also known as coronavirus. If you found this video entertaining or helpful in any way, please give me a thumbs up. That would help me a lot. And if you want to learn more about transplant life, or just to see if I'm going to live through this stupid COVID-19 virus, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, if you have an opinion, please leave a comment. So that's it for today, guys. Remember, miracles happen every day. Stay blessed.